welcome back to the family channel.
Hi!
I hope you guys are having a fantastic day today, and today we're going to react into most popular toys of the 1990s. Now guys, as you can see, Daddy is not here today because he needs to finish plastering the second layer.
Yeah, he is plastering all day today again, and he said that he is not coming down
Until he finishes.
He's
determined to finish it today.
Because it has been taking a while, and we want kids to move upstairs. We went and ordered their carpets today. So
oh, did you?
Yes, we did. So he wants to finish so we can paint all the rooms upstairs, and then kids can be back in their rooms, which I'm sure you're very excited about it.
Yes.
So, and it's just because it's three of us, we thought it's gonna be a good idea to do the toy video.
We love toys. I mean,
yeah, because kids were obsessed with toys, and especially all the trendy ones when you were young.
Yeah, we had Gooey Louie.
Whatever came out, they just wanted it, like Gooey Louie. Then there was that pig one with the sword things. Yeah. What else was there?
Oh, the sword! Yeah, I forgot the sword.
Oh yeah, the swords that you put into the
barrel. That wasn't a pig. That was a pirate, isn't it? Like a pirate in a barrel, and you had to stab the swords in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there was that snappy crocodile thing that you had to try to.
We had so many games. There was a lot.
Yeah, and kids really, really loved their toys. So we thought, let's do this.
So we're going to be checking this video out today, but before we get into the video, please make sure to subscribe and hit the like button.
Today we're going to be discussing the most popular toys of the 1990s. The 1990s had some insanely popular toys. We're talking some that had mass hysteria on Black Friday and throughout the Christmas season. The likes of which have not been matched since Cabbage Patch in 1983. However, in this video, we will not be discussing all of the toys that were popular in the 1990s.
I've seen these.
I don't know.
It's apparently like a trampoline that makes you jump, like you can walk in them.
Oh, really?
I've seen some people testing it. They put but apparently it doesn't jump and it hurts your feet.
Yeah, it looks quite dangerous.
It does, doesn't it? I wouldn't.
Yeah, like breakable.
And look what it's holding on. Yeah.
Instance, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles came out in 1989. That particular toy is discussed in my 1980s decade video.
Why is it just
By this decade of the 1990s,
there
were toys that were popular that were from previous decades. So if you do not...
Garen had so many Hot Wheels cars.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. But guess what? He never played with cars.
He'd always
I had like a full crate of them.
He had so many because our neighbor in England, she was such a lovely, lovely lady, Janet. Yeah. She was so nice, and she would always bring kids a lot of toys.
Always.
And we ended up with so many toys, and especially cars for Garen, and he was not interested in it.
No, he wasn't. And
no, that's the thing though. We had so many toys, and
we didn't even know what we had.
We didn't even know.
Yeah, maybe sometimes that's the problem, that kids have got too many toys
and they don't know what to play with.
See the toy that you played with? There's a good chance it's in one of my videos from the 1940s to the 1980s, each with its own decade of toys to discuss and show. But in today's video, we'll discuss some of the popular toys of the 1990s. I hope you enjoy this. Sit back, relax, and let's reminisce together. The Super Soaker brought water gun fights to a whole new level.
Do you know this?
It was originally called the Power Drencher and went on sale in 1990.
Yes. I remember
rebranded
this one.
as the Super.
I remember this one. We had this when I was still au pair, when I first came to England. The boys I was looking after, they had this, and we always had the water fights.
Really?
Yeah, outside in the garden when it was a hot day. They were cool.
It said they shoot up to 50 feet. That's a lot.
I can't remember if it was.
It said on the box there.
Super Soaker in 1991. Once the TV advertisements hit the air, it resulted in millions sold, and the product remained popular for years. Imitations came out on the market, but most people still called them Super Soakers, although they definitely were not. The toy was invented by a former Air Force and NASA engineer named Lonnie Johnson.
Oh, nice.
He tinkered with it and tried to get it going for years before he finally found a company, Laramie, who showed interest in it in 1989. He made some additional improvements and then it was released the following year. Today it is produced by Hasbro under the Nerf brand and has generated more than $1 billion in sales.
Wow.
The Littlest Pet Shop is a toy franchise and cartoon series owned by Hasbro. It was originally produced by Kenner starting in 1990.
I'd always get those cute little...
Leia had this obsession. She would always collect all these little toys from
Yeah.
kids' magazines. And that was the tradition whenever we were flying to Slovakia.
Or from Slovakia.
Or from Slovakia, she would
I'd
always
always get
get a
those.
magazine with one of those. And then they just
And they'd
ended
get
up
lost everywhere.
lying everywhere. Like,
I can still remember the ones I still have actually. I don't know where.
yeah, I think you still do have
What is
a
it?
few little
Like-
figures, isn't it?
There is Puppy with the dog food and like this crate. Oh, I miss
And
it.
what was it? You had like bunnies with a house.
Oh, Slovenian
Slovenian
family.
family.
Oh,
Yeah.
I miss that.
1992, followed by the animated series in 1995. The tiny toys had certain actions, such as a movable part, which were sold in sets. Most of the toys included magnets or
Cute
had
little
simple
things, no?
mechanisms such
Pet
as
shop.
flapping wings.
Oh,
Perhaps one of the biggest toys of the 1990s was the Power Rangers. They came on the air as Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in
See, not my
1993.
thing.
they're like
This
Karen
live-action
had-
series
yeah,
was part of the
I had
Fox
the green
Kids
one.
And the
programming
black
block.
one, no?
It was an
yellow.
instant
And the
hit
red.
and became sort of a
And-
1990s pop
Yeah,
culture phenomenon with a huge array of merchandise. Everything you could think of was Power Rangers. Folders, sheets, video games, comics, films, curtains, shirts, pajamas, and toys. The action figures were an instant success, as was anything else that had Power Rangers on it.
Oh,
For a while, it seemed like Power Rangers ruled the world. The Power Rangers
Yeah, I
began with
remember
Saban
that era.
Entertainment in 1993
How do you
and then
remember?
moved to the Walt Disney Company from 2002 to 2010. Most recently, Hasbro has picked up the entertainment and merchandising franchise. Overall, the
But-
franchise has generated
You used to watch Power
Yeah, I
Rangers,
did.
isn't it?
Mhm,
Always on a TV. You would always put it on and just sit there
That's a
and
good
just watch
idea.
it. And I think you as well.
No.
That's a good idea. We should do kid shows in 1990s or something
Oh,
like that.
yeah.
or CBBS kids shows. Oh wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
billions and billions of dollars in toy sales. If you were a kid in the 90s, then you certainly know who the Power Rangers are. Bop It toys are a line of audio
Our
games.
cousin had
Yeah,
this, and
that's-
I always used to play with it.
Bop it.
Twist it.
Yeah,
it.
you were
Pull it.
obsessed with this
Whenever
toy.
we went to our cousin's house, we'd always play with that.
It's so good though. It's so fun.
I think he still got it.
yeah,
it
want-
doesn't work anymore.
No?
It does.
Oh.
We don't have batteries for it, which sucks. I would
The
like.
player
to.
follows a series of commands issued through voice recordings
Yeah,
played
this
by the
one.
toy. The original game would only allow bopping or pressing a button, twisting a lever, or pulling a handle. As the player progresses, the pace of the game increases. The max score of the original
This
game
one,
was
yeah.
100.
I think such a cool-
The game
this
was
is
based
cool
on
toy,
concepts
isn't it?
originally patented by Dan Klitzner and was released in 1996. The game
Well, he
quickly
did
caught
the
on and there have been several versions since. Now the toy has multiple inputs including pressable buttons, pull handles, twisting cranks, spinnable wheels, and flickable switches.
true.
Oh, wow.
The max score on the more modern ones is 200. Pokemon is a collectible card game based on the
So
Pokemon
annoying. Dad
franchise.
would always bring them home, and they'd just be around the house everywhere.
And he still got Pokemon
Yes.
cards.
I mean, I don't use them anymore.
No, but every once in a while he'll get this obsession, and then he'll just go off of it.
Yeah. Sometimes, like, he just comes home and starts looking for his Pokemon book, and then he goes out and
And
sees
trades
the
them.
friends, and they like swapping
Trade,
and
yeah.
trading.
And then
It's
after a
cool
week,
trading.
after a week, it's
And then they just lying around again, like
They were
in a drawer.
In our school, it was like for a whole 2 months. I just used to keep on taking cards to school to show my friends and trade with them.
Yeah. And I remember when we were in England, it was the thing. Whenever we came to school, he and his friends, they were like, look what I've got. Look what I
I've
managed
got
to
the
get.
ultra
Like,
legendary.
Yeah.
I never got Pokemon. Never understood
Miniverse,
it. I don't know. I don't know whether it's on. I don't think it's only a boy thing, but it was a massive craze.
Yeah.
And funny enough, see, this is in 90s, and then it came back
Yeah, it did.
when you were
Yeah.
little. You know, so it's like it just like skipped a generation, and it was popular again. I wonder if it's gonna be popular again, but. You need to
By
decide what you
Nintendo.
want to do with them.
It was first published in October
You
of
got those?
1996 by
I
Media.
have this Charmander
Yeah.
here and the Vulpix I have and Voltop. And these older ones.
And the seal. I see there's a seal
Oh yeah,
back
seal.
there.
And these older ones, if you get like a really rare of these older ones, you
Oh,
can
we
sell
should-
them for a couple thousand.
I always used
Really?
to pester again for like the cute little,
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
cute little ones, and he never gave me them.
They're too
Media
good.
Factory in Japan.
Pikachu.
In
I have
the US,
him.
it was initially published by Wizards of the Roast. Eventually, Nintendo
Dr.
transferred the
Rita.
rights to the
Unpublished.
Pokemon Company, which
Yeah.
has published the game ever
And that
since
other
June
one,
of
the ice- the
2003. The cards have become highly
Right,
collectible,
I
and
also
some of them have sold anywhere from a couple hundred.
This you can get for like 30,000.
For a car.
Really? He was just saying how much you can get for them.
Was he?
Yeah.
$1,000 to over $1 million.
No
It
way.
really just depends on what it is and
For a
what
car.
the condition of those
These
cards are.
Popular ones.
So if you have any of these cards
I
from
have
the
Raichu.
1990s,
And
you
you've
may
also
want to
got that
take a look
monster
at them
one.
because
Can
you may
I sell
want to
them?
sell them depending on the value.
That's crazy.
Most people just
I
seem
have
to
Pikachu,
collect
though.
the cards, but there is a game aspect to them. Some people even enjoy entering competitions in tournaments.
The only one thing though, what was crap about Pokemon, the price.
Yeah, they were expensive. The Pokemon
It was like
cards,
€4
isn't it?
for one pack.
Yeah, and then his friends bought him a lot of cards from Spain. They
Oh,
went
yeah.
to Spain, and they were all fake ones. Obviously, you could see like they were really like fake, but you were still happy with
Yeah,
them, isn't it?
I was happy.
Tamagotchi, which
I
means
have
egg watch in
that.
Japanese, is a handheld digital pet that was created in Japan. It was released by Bandai on November 23rd, 1996 in Japan, and on May
your
1st,
first pet.
1997 in the rest of the world. The digital pet
no,
toy
I have a
quickly became
pink
one of the
one, no?
biggest fads of the late 1990s. Since its release, more than 80 million units have been sold. They are basically small egg-shaped handheld video games with 3 buttons. The object of the little toy is to take care of the virtual pet that dwells inside. The creature goes
a
through
good
several
idea,
stages of growth, which is dependent on the level of
Teaches
care
you
provided by the player. The background on the creatures is interesting. They are all small alien creatures that deposit an egg here on Earth to see what life is like. Beanie Babies are a line of stuffed toys that were created by
I
an
always
American
wanted
businessman
them,
named H. Ty
baby.
They're
Warner, who
expensive,
founded
though.
Ty Inc. in 1986.
I had one of I
The
can't
Beanie Babies
remember
we all
what
came to know-
colour it was, but I had one of the bears.
Yeah, you did have few Beanie Babies, isn't it? But I know somebody who had literally the whole collection of them.
No.
Yeah, the boy that I was au pair for, he had the huge collection, and he had them all in a bed. And when I needed to make bed for him, it was a nightmare, cause like you had to like put these teddies like in one row and like put the but they are cute. They are
are
very
lovely.
cute
Yeah.
teddies.
Oh,
isn't
I
it?
miss mine. I don't even know where mine are.
Yeah.
Probably in England.
Were created in 1993 and became a major fad. They also became highly collectible by the late 1990s. They have been called the world's first internet sensation, which sort of started in 1995. The toys came in many forms, but were mostly animals that were stuffed with plastic pellets rather than beans like the name seems to suggest. The company made limited quantities and restricted individual store shipments, which made the demand to collect them even higher. Ty also retired certain designs, which increased their popularity and value. The craze lasted through the 1990s, and some people were paying insane amounts for rare Beanie Babies. At the same time, people also had to worry about counterfeit ones being sold. Eventually, the bubble burst on the market, although some people are still convinced of the rare, valuable Beanie Babies. The company has moved on
Oh,
selling
these- I
different
had-
stuffed
I had that
animals,
one.
but has no trouble at all with sales.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go-Go's Crazy Bones were a small collectible figurine that became a popular fad in the 1990s. They are produced by a Spanish company named Magic Box International and PPI Worldwide Group, the sole distributor in North America.
Yeah.
They were inspired by a children's game played in ancient Greece and Rome in which they used sheep knuckles. That game is known as Pogs. It is reminiscent of marbles and jacks. Crazy Bones is a modern version played with characters molded from plastic. There are hundreds of characters in total, and they have become collectible over the years. Within a couple years of the release, the company had some high-profile partners such as McDonald's who included them in Happy Meals. That led to revenues growing to nearly $17 million. The current distributor of Go-Go's Crazy Bones in the United States and Canada is Jonic Distribution North America. Betty Spaghetty is a bendable rubber doll from the Ohio Art Company. She was portrayed as a fun-loving...
You had like a plushie, though.
No, I had one of those, and they had spaghetti hair.
Yeah?
Did you? I did. I remember.
I can't remember.
It was like a newer version, but hold on, play it. It might be there.
Teen who had two best friends, Zoe and Hannah, as well as her younger sister. Her rubbery hair used to let children make different hairstyles, and she also had changeable hands, feet, shoes, etc.
I did.
The doll was very popular in its release in 1998 and was discontinued in 2004 due to a weak market and strong competition.
Have one of those.
She has tried to make a comeback twice, but has not had the same success as she enjoyed in the 1990s. Furby is an American electronic robotic toy that was originally released in 1998 by Tiger Electronics. The toy is a creature of its own, much like a gremlin, but it resembles a hamster or owl-like creature with big eyes. It was the must-have toy of 1998 following its release. For a while, the toy was hard to get due to its popularity, and in 1998 alone, there were more than 1.8 million sold during the holiday season launch. In 1999, there were more than 14 million sold. The toy had its own language named Furbish, but over time it would start to use English words and phrases that it learned from the owners. Furby sold for $35 upon release, but because of demand, they were fetching as much as $300 in newspapers as people were trying to make a profit off of them. The short demand also led to parental arguments and battles in retail stores over any Furbies that were found. On January 13, 1999, the National Security Agency of the United States banned Furbies from entering NSA properties over fear and concerns that they might be used to record and repost classified information. This may sound ridiculous now, but it really was a huge concern at the time. But as we all know now, there are things much smaller that are capable of doing the exact same thing and more. Regardless, the Furby goes down in history as one of the most desired toys of all time. Tickle Me Elmo was a children's plush toy from Tycho Preschool. Elmo is a Muppet character from the children's television show Sesame Street. Whenever Elmo was squeezed, he would shake, vibrate, and then giggle. The toy was produced in the United States in 1996 and quickly became a fad during the Christmas season of that same year. The toy retailed for $28.99, but scalpers in newspapers and on the internet sold them for up to $1,500 by the end of 1996. The craze really hit on Black Friday, and it was the toy every parent wanted to get for their young child. The shortage led to parents getting arrested for fighting over the doll.
That's what I don't get about toys, is why are they that popular? Like, they get all the photos like in the old, like in 1990s. All of the people are running like to the toys.
It's this thing, and especially like they're releasing toys, like new toys, like that are like wow, just before Christmas. So every kid just wants that for Christmas. You know, so that's why it's kind of like that's why they are so popular. You know. But it's crazy how it changes, you know, like you have like some teddies, then you have some guns or just like Pokemon cards. Like it's such a big variety of like a popular toys, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you guys hear an alarm, sorry, it's my phone. I don't even know why there's an alarm.
Some parents ran after delivery trucks seeking to get the doll as it entered the stores. There are reports of a doll in Denver fetching $7,100 and a charity raffle in Los Angeles that brought $18,500 for another Tickle Me Elmo. A clerk working at a Walmart in
This Elmo looks cool, so you basically tickle him and he laughs.
I think so. I never had one. You didn't have one.
I had Cookie Monster.
You did have Cookie Monster. Yeah.
I loved him. And he had that fake cookie there.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Canada was stampeded by a crowd of 300 people after they spotted him being handed a box of the toys. The clerk suffered a pulled hamstring, injuries to his back, jaw, and knee, broken rib, and a concussion. By the end of December, 1 million Tickle Me Elmos had been sold. Tickle Me Elmo was definitely one of the biggest desired toys of all time, and it is up there with the Cabbage Patch Dolls and Furbies. Pogs was a popular game of the 1990s. Originally, it was a game played in Hawaii during the 1920s or 1930s. The pieces used were flat circular cardboard milk caps. Players make a stack of the caps and take turns to drum a heavier slammer object into it, causing the caps to be disrupted. The cardboard milk caps became obsolete in the 1950s as manufacturers changed the packaging. Occasionally, the dairies in Hawaii would distribute promotional milk caps, though, so children would still use them occasionally. The 1990s revival is credited to a Blossom Galbiso, who was a teacher in Hawaii. She incorporated the game into her curriculum as a way of teaching math. Eventually, the game spread, and by early 1992, Stanpak Inc., a Canadian company, started producing more of these caps for Hawaii. The game then started surfacing on the west coast of the United States, and by 1993, it was played throughout the world.
Oh, wow.
The Canada Games Company got on board and reintroduced the caps as the Pog brand name in the 1990s. The fad peaked in the mid-1990s, and by 1997, the fad had faded, and the Canada Games Company went out of business. Buzz Lightyear is a main character in the Toy Story franchise. According to the movies, he is a Space Ranger superhero, but he is also an action figure. He was introduced in 1995 as a 12-inch tall figure from Thinkway Toys. The toy experienced massive sales in the Christmas.
To be honest with you, I think nearly every boy in England had a Buzz Lightyear figure.
I had him, and when you would press that red button, he would say to infinity and beyond.
Yeah, you had him, you had the costume as well, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
What else did you have of him? You had something else of
Plush,
him.
you know?
I think so.
Something like wings.
But you were obsessed with it. You even slept with it.
Yeah, I did, didn't I?
Christmas
He's a cool
after the
character,
film's
though.
release in the United States and the United Kingdom. The company did not expect the toy to be so popular, so demand was high and the product was short. Tim Allen was the voice of the original figure, but later models featured a voice actor who sounds very similar to Allen. The figure has continued to be popular and is sold very well over the years. In 2008, NASA and Disney announced that the original figure would go into space and take part in an experiment on the International Space Station for 6 months. Talkboy is a line of handheld voice recorder and sound novelty toys manufactured by Tiger Electronics in the 1990s. It is now owned by Hasbro. It was originally conceived as a cassette recorder and player prop for the 1992 film Home Alone 2. The company released the toy in 1992 and it sold moderately, but a voice-changing model in 1993, followed by the release of the movie on home video, caused the toy sales to spike. The toy was an unexpected success and it sold out during the 1993 holiday season. It had continued success in subsequent holiday seasons, and the Talk Girl released in 1995. Nintendo was a big hit in the 1980s, and it was followed up by another popular system by the...
See, there you go. That's a Nintendo.
I mean,
Old one.
I wouldn't mind.
You had similar.
We did have it.
Daddy had a similar, like a
No,
old
but we did
style
have it, but remember,
Nintendo.
it didn't work. We had it. Daddy got it from a charity, and
No,
it
it
didn't
did
work.
work. It did work, and then we gave it to Dummy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that we gave them something else.
No, we gave him this
that was a
Nintendo, this
Nintendo.
old Nintendo. It was so cool. Jonah absolutely loved it because I think he had it when he was kid. And when he saw this in the charity shops, he got it. So
He
he
had
was
to get
so
it.
excited about it. You were not impressed with it, were you?
I mean,
It's too old-fashioned for Karen.
A company in 1991 called Super Nintendo or Super NES. An additional system called
I
the
know
Nintendo
that.
64 was also released in 1996, and the brand
Zelda,
remained very
we
popular
love
much through the
Zelda, eh?
90s and the gaming market. But the 1990s gave way to other video game systems. The Sega Genesis was released in August of 1989, but it really came on strong in the early 1990s. The handheld Game Gear came on strong and offered a
Sega.
color screen as opposed to the Game Boy's black and white
Sonic.
screen.
I
Sega
used to
also had
always
some
fight with
other
Garen
game
to
systems
get to
released in the
play Sonic
1990s that also
I
found
love that
success.
game as
and
well.
I don't know if you guys know what Sonic it was, but there was a metal shark jumping.
I loved that one.
I used to be scared of that shark.
I want to play Sonic.
When they were little, like
We used to
you
fight
can,
over
you
the
can
game.
see they were literally obsessed with Sonic.
It was
They would come home from a nursery, and like they were like, "Can we play Sonic? Can we play Sonic?"
me and Garen used to fight over that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The big winning game systems of the 1990s outside of Nintendo was the Sony PlayStation. It was the
PlayStation
first
1.
console of any type to ship over 100 million units and did so under a decade. It was first released on December 3rd, 1994. There was a time when Sony was making some components for Nintendo, but Nintendo broke off that relationship and decided to go
NHL
with
98,
Philips.
that's the oldest
That
one.
decision was probably something they regretted later, but at the time, Sony wasn't even in the gaming industry. But once they did enter the gaming industry, the popularity of the game
Gran Turismo.
system really spread because it had a lower price than Sega and Nintendo. The Sony PlayStation is still a popular
PS2.
console today with the subsequent
Our cousin
models
has
that have been
PS2.
released.
I love.
So I
playing
hope you
games on
enjoyed this
PS2.
little video on the most popular toys of the
Polly Pocket.
1990s. I hope it took you back a little bit to your childhood and helped you remember the great times that used to be of the 1990s. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys.
To be honest, I thought I expected more stuff that I would recognize.
Yeah.
Well, this is 1990s.
Yeah, but we used to have like older toys. We didn't have like.
Well, when you got them from Janet, because Janet
Yeah.
would always get you some toys
Yeah.
in charity shops, isn't it? And she would always come with a huge bag full
yeah,
of toys.
no, and they're like, Cat, bring the kids over. And then
Yeah.
as soon as we heard that, me and Garen would be happy. And I used to love going over to her house because her cat, and whenever we go over to her house, we'd obviously come home with a full bag of.
Full bag of toys, and obviously kids were excited. I mean, like, it was so nice of her. Like, she didn't have to
What
do
I
that,
don't
but
get.
she loved kids, and
She was such a sweet neighbor. Yeah, I miss her. But she'd always be like we'd always go there. 'Cause she had like, she's got a lot of cats.
Yeah, but you had few of these toys, like
Yeah.
even though
Yeah.
like probably the newer version,
But we did have a lot of them,
There was
yeah.
quite a
Oh, I remember my Tamagotchi now.
your Tamagotchi and
And your bunnies?
the little bunnies.
Slovenian.
family, yeah. Oh, but like like toys are cool. isn't
Yeah,
it?
they are. I'll
Yeah.
never stop liking toys, I don't think.
Like whenever we go to our cousin's house, we still
Yeah.
go to the toys as soon as anything.
I'll never stop
Yeah.
liking toys, I don't think.
Oh yeah, what I wanted to say is our neighbour. I don't get where she got all those toys from because we would always come home with a big pile and then she'll give us a big pile the next week. I'm like,
Yeah.
She was working a lot for charities,
Oh,
so
yeah.
so that's
Yeah.
why she always came across so many toys because
But I'd
she
always
would,
be happy because she'd always give us stuff.
And she
Yeah.
was nice, though.
She was really
yeah,
nice.
and you had lots
Wait.
of toys.
Yeah, we're so way bigger and too much.
I
Yes.
loved going to our
Yeah.
cat pens and helping her out
Yeah.
with her cats.
Yeah, anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in
Next video.
Bye.